Welcome to the Existential Empath Podcast. My name is Tanya and I am an intuitive empath. My intention is to share valuable tips, tools, and techniques that I have learned so you can tap into your own inner healer naturally and intuitively. My name is Tanya and I help people tap into their inner healer naturally and intuitively. How many of you allow negative self-talk to overwhelm your mind? Hello, I'm one of those people. Until I actually became consciously aware of the inner dialogue that I was having with myself and how much it was making an impact, not only on my mental aspect, but also my physical and emotional aspects of my life, I really didn't comprehend how much I was doing it on a daily basis. Today, I thought I would go over 3 limiting phrases or limiting beliefs that keep us stuck in an unhealthy pattern in our life that may create blocks where we can't move forward in our life. And we may even be doing these on autopilot. I know that was kind of my situation. I didn't even realize that I was kind of running these particular phrases in the back of my subconscious mind until they were actually brought to the surface. And now I can catch myself when I begin to say those types of negative phrases, and I can change them to a more positive, healthy phrase. So the first limiting phrase or limiting belief that can kind of keep you stuck in a pattern that's not so healthy is when I retire, I will move to that place I've always wanted to live. When I finish school, I will get my dream job. When I get my dream job, I will buy that car. When I'm in that relationship, I will be a loving spouse. Whatever it is, whatever you are saying that you are putting into the future tense, you are taking away from your present life right now. So if you want to live in a beautiful environment and you are unhappy with where you're at right now, then do it. Do it. Don't put it off. I came from a background working in healthcare in a trauma type environment, and I would see people losing their lives on a regular basis. And I can definitely say that we don't know what tomorrow holds. So if you are continually saying, when I do this, or when this happens, I will be happy, then you are completely taking away everything that this life that you're living is even for, right? So when you switch the thinking from when I to I have or I am, what you're doing is you're bringing your power back, okay? You are shifting the energy from something that I may want or I'm looking forward to or even I'm chasing for that matter, and you are putting it into the present tense, then you are attracting that into your life. So when you are constantly putting something in front of you or at a distance, then you can never get to it. You're just chasing it and chasing it and chasing it. But when you say, I am abundant, I have these things in my life, then what you are doing is you are creating the reality around that and you are shifting that energy. So when I first learned that concept, it really changed a lot because I was always saying, when I have this, I will be this. And for me, it was happiness. When I move to this state, I will be happy. Instead of saying, I am moving to this state, I am going to live in this state, and I am happy. So it's like just shifting that just a little bit and changing that negative thought pattern that you're kind of running in the back of your mind that you don't necessarily even know that you're doing can really change the reality that you're living in. The second limiting phrase or limiting belief that you can change today is if only. Okay, this is another key one for me. So if only I had more money, if only I could afford that, if only I got that dream job, all that you're doing when you say if only is kind of complaining if you really think about it. So when you're saying if only, you're putting yourself in a passive position instead of a proactive position, okay? So if only, oh, woe's me, if only. No, you want to put yourself in a power position where you can really change that negative thought pattern and that negative belief to switch it from an energy of abundance from an energy of lack. So when you're saying if only, you're putting yourself in a lack type of energy. But when you are saying I have or I am, life is responding to you, okay? So you've got to switch that negative kind of passive victim sort of phrase or negative self-talk that you're telling yourself in that inner dialogue to something more powerful and more meaningful, so you can empower yourself and have a much stronger energy when you bring that to the table, okay? So if you're sitting back passively, oh, woe's me, if only I had that and this and that, you're not owning it. You are not owning it. So you've got to kind of grab the bull by the horns in that particular situation and really own that and take on that power. Bring your power back. I have that dream job. I am that successful person, okay? Now, the third limiting phrase or limiting beliefs or thought that can kind of keep you in a stagnant pattern is I should have, okay? This was a key one for me. So I should have known not to make that mistake, or I should have known not to be in a relationship with that person, or I should have known not to take that job. What you're doing is you're putting yourself into a position of guilt, shame, criticism, and judgment. So when you are saying those thoughts to yourself in the back of your mind, you are actually kind of bullying yourself. You're beating yourself up over something that's in the past tense. And like I said before, you want to be living in the present tense. So if you're living in the past over something that you should have done, then all you're doing is tearing yourself down, and you're making it harder for your present self to live in the present moment. So a suggestion would be, instead of saying I should have done this, ask yourself, what did I learn from that experience? You know, if you had a really crappy relationship, or you went in for an interview and didn't get the job, or maybe you did get the job and it just wasn't what you expected it to be, ask yourself, what did I learn from that experience, and how can I grow in the next experience, instead of beating yourself up about it all the time. So that was kind of a key one for me. Specifically when it came to relationships, I always seemed to find myself in relationships where I would be like, gosh, I should have known that. Bully myself. But the reality is I took that and said, you know what? Those were some things I didn't like in that relationship. And in the next relationship, I'm going to see those flags ahead of time, so I'll know better to either not go into that relationship, or I have a better understanding of who I am and the types of things that I value, that I am looking for in a partner in a relationship. So I hope that some of these things were helpful to you. They were very helpful to me when I consciously made it aware that I was kind of telling myself these things in the back of my mind. So I always like to say a healer is not someone who heals you, but a healer is someone who guides you and teaches you to heal yourself. So I really hope that's what I did here for you today. And like always, I hope you guys get a chance to get out into nature. It's a beautiful day. Really go out there and experience it and just breathe it all in. You deserve to navigate your life in alignment with health, happiness, and abundance. To learn more about the services that I provide, including Beyond Quantum Healing Hypnosis, EFT tapping, and the Emotion Code, visit my website at www.theexistentialempath.com.